Hi, Lakewood Tigers. We hope you enjoyed Toothpaste Millionaire. We're going to jump right into our second book for our school reading. It's called Rump. And I like to read the back of the book to kind of get an idea of what I'm going to be reading about. So in Rump, this is a book about a magical kingdom where your name is your destiny. A 12-year-old Rump is the butt of everyone's joke. But when he finds an old spinning wheel, his luck seems to change. Rump discovers he has a gift for spinning straw into gold. His best friend, Red Riding Hood, warns him that the magic is dangerous, and she's right. With each thread he spins, he weaves himself into a deeper curse. To break the spell, Rump must go on a perilous quest, fighting off pixies, trolls, poison apples, and a wicked, foolish queen. The odds are against him, but with courage and friendship, and a cheeky sense of humor, he might just triumph at the end. So let's jump right into chapter 1, and it's called Your Name is Your Destiny. There's that spinning wheel in the illustration. Chapter 1. My mother named me after a cow's rear end. It's the favorite village joke and probably the only one, but it's not really true. At least I don't think it's true, and neither does Gran. Really, my mother had another name for me, a wonderful name, but no one ever heard it. They only heard the first part, the worst part. Mother had been very ill when I was born. Gran said she was fevered and coughing, and I came before I was supposed to. Still, my mother held me close and whispered my name in my ear. No one heard it but me. His name, Gran asked. Tell me his name. His name is Rump. Gran gave Mother something warm to drink and pried me from her arms. Tell me his name, Anna, all of it. But Mother never did. She took a breath and then let out all the air and didn't make any more, ever. Gran said that I cried then, but I never hear that in my imagination. All I hear is silence. Not a move or a breath. The fire doesn't crack. Even the pixies are still. Finally, Gran holds me up and says, Rump. His name is Rump. The next morning, the village bell chimed and gnomes ran all over the mountain crying, Rump, Rump, the boy's new name is Rump. My name couldn't be changed or taken back because in a kingdom, your name isn't just what people call you. Your name is full of meaning and power. Your name is your destiny. My destiny really stinks. I stopped growing when I was 8, and I was small to begin with. The midwife, Gertrude, says I'm small because I had only the milk of a weak goat instead of a strong mother, but I know that really isn't because of my name. You can't grow all the way if you don't have a whole name. I try not to think about my destiny too much, but on my birthday, I always did. On my 12th birthday, I thought of nothing else. I sat in mine, swirling the mud around in a pan, searching for gold. We needed gold, 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 but all I saw was mud, mud, mud. The pickaxes beat out of the rhythm that rang all over the mountain. It filled the air with thumps and bumps. In my head, the mountain was chanting, thump, 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 bump, 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 rump, rump, rump. At least it was a good rhyme. Thump, 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 bump, 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 rump, rump, rump. But, hey, but, I groaned as Frederick and his brother Bruno approached with menacing grins on their face. Frederick and Bruno were the miller's son. They were close to my age, but so big, twice my size, ugly as trolls. Happy birthday, Butt. We have a present just for you. Frederick threw a clod of dirt at me. My stubby hands tried to block it, but it smashed right in my face, and I gagged at the smell. The clod of dirt was not dirt. Now that's a gift worthy of your name, said Bruno. Other children howled with laughter. Leave him alone, said a girl named Red. She glared at Frederick and Bruno, holding her shovel over her shoulder like a weapon. The other children stopped laughing. Oh, said Frederick, do you love butt? That's not his name, growled Red. Then what is it? Why doesn't he tell us? Rump, I said without thinking. My name is Rump. They burst out laughing. I had done just what they wanted. But that's not my real name, I said desperately. It isn't? Asked Frederick. What do you think his real name is? Asked Bruno. Frederick pretended to think very hard. Something unusual, something special. Cow Rump. Baby Rump, said Bruno. Rump Roast. Everyone laughed. Frederick and Bruno fell over each other, holding their stomachs while tears streamed down their faces. They rolled in the dirt and squealed like pigs. Just for a moment, I envied them. They looked like they were having so much fun, rolling in the dirt and laughing. Why couldn't I do that? Why couldn't I join them? Then I remembered why they were laughing. Red swung her shoulder down hard so it struck in the ground right between the boys' heads. Frederick and Bruno stopped laughing. Go away, she said. Bruno swallowed, staring cross-eyed at the shovel that was just inches from his nose. Frederick stood and grinned at Red. Sure, you two want to be alone. The brothers walked away, snorting and falling all over each other. I could feel Red looking at me, but I stared down at my pan. I picked out some of Frederick and Bruno's present. I did not want to look at Red. You better find some gold today, Rump, said Red. I glared at her. I know. I'm not stupid. She raised her eyebrows. Some people did think I was stupid because of my name, and sometimes I thought they were probably right. Maybe if you only have half a name, you only have half a brain. I kept my eyes on my pan of mud, hoping Red would go away, but she stood over me with her shovel, like she was inspecting me. The rations were tightening, said Red. The king. I know, Red. Red glared at me. Fine, then good luck to you. She stomped off. I felt worse than when Frederick and Bruno threw poop in my face. Red wasn't my friend exactly, but she was the closest thing I had to a friend. She never made fun of me. Sometimes she stood up for me, and I understood why. Her name wasn't all that great either. Just as people laugh at my name like Rump, they fear a name like Red. Red is not a name. It's a color, an evil color. What kind of destiny does that bring? I swirled mud in my pan, searching for a glimmer. Our village lives off the mountain's gold. What little there is to find. The royal tax collector gathers it and takes it to the king, King Barf. If King Barf is pleased with our gold, he sends us extra food for rations. If he's not pleased, we get extra hungry. King Barf isn't actually named King Barf. His real name is King Bartholomew Archibald Reginald Fife. A fine, kingly name, a name with great destiny, of course. But I don't care how handsome or powerful that name makes you. It's a mouthful. So for short, I call him King Barf, though I never say it out loud. A pixie flew in my face, a blur of pink hair, translucent wings. I held still as she landed on my arm and explored. I tried to gently shake her off, but the only fluttering her wings continued on her search. She was looking for gold, just like me. Pixies are obsessed with gold. Once they have been very helpful in the mines, since they have very sense of large lines of gold from a mile away and deep in the earth. Whenever a swarm of pixies would hover around a particular spot of rock, the miners knew precisely where they should dig. But there hasn't been much gold in the mountain for many years. We only find small pebbles and specks. The pixies don't dance and chirp the way they used to. Now they're just pesky thieves trying to steal the little gold we find. And they'll bite to get you. Pixies are no bigger than a finger, and they look sweet and delicate and harmless with their sparkling wings and colorful hair, but their bites hurt worse than bee stings and squirrel bites and poison ivy combined. And I've had them all. The pixie on my arm finally decided I had no gold, so she flew away. I scooped more mud from the sluice and swirled it around my pan. No gold, only mud, mud, mud. Thump, thump, thump. Bump, bump, bump. Rump, rump, rump. I didn't find any gold. We worked until the sun was low and the gnome came running through the mines shouting, "The day is done! The day is done!" In a voice so bright and cheery, I had to urge to kick the gnome and send it flying down the mountain. But I was relieved. Now I could go home, and maybe Gran had cooked a chicken. Maybe she could tell me a story that would help me stop thinking about my birth and name and destiny. I set my tools aside and walked alone down the mountain and through the village. Red walked alone too, a little ahead of me. The rest of the villagers traveled in clusters, some children together, others with their parents. Some carried leather purses full of gold. Those who found good amounts of gold got extra rations. If they found a great deal, they could keep some to trade in the markets. I had never found enough gold, even for extra rations. Pixies fluttered in front of my face and chirped in my ears, and I swatted at them. If only pixies would show me a mound of gold in the earth, then maybe it wouldn't matter if I was small. If I found lots of gold, then maybe no one would laugh at me or make fun of my name. Gold would make me worth something. All right, that is the end of chapter 1. I hope you enjoyed. After you're done reading this chapter, I want you to think about one vocabulary word specifically. What does the word rations mean? And what clues do you have in the text? Again, what does the word rations mean? And what clues can you find in the text? Stay tuned for chapter